On the night of February 24th, 1978, five friends left a basketball game in California. They were excited, making plans for the next day, and looking forward to participating in a Special Olympics tournament. By all accounts, it was an ordinary evening. But within hours, all five men would disappear, leaving behind one of the most disturbing mysteries in American history. The group consisted of Jack Madruga, Bill Sterling, Jackie Hewitt, Ted Weir, and Gary Mathias. They lived in the Yuba City area of California and were known to be close friends. Their families described them as responsible and dependable. None of them had any known reason to disappear. That evening, the five men drove to the city of Chico to watch a college basketball game. Witnesses later reported seeing them enjoying themselves and behaving normally. After the game ended, they stopped at a convenience store and purchased snacks, candy bars, and soft drinks. It was the last confirmed sighting of them alive. The route home should have been simple, yet for reasons that remain unknown, the men never returned home. When their families woke up the next morning, they immediately knew something was wrong. The men had important plans for the Special Olympics tournament later that day. Missing it was completely out of character. Days passed with no sign of the group. Then, searchers made a shocking discovery. Nearly 70 miles away from where they should have been, the men's car was found abandoned on a remote mountain road in the rugged wilderness of California's Plumas National Forest. The vehicle itself deepened the mystery. It wasn't wrecked. It wasn't out of gas. Investigators determined the car was capable of being driven away, yet the men had left it behind and vanished into the freezing wilderness on foot. Why? No one could answer that question. Then came an even stranger twist.
A man named Joseph Shawns claimed he had experienced car trouble in the same area that night. While stranded, he reported seeing lights in the darkness and a group of people nearby. He shouted for help but received no response. According to his account, the people simply disappeared into the night. At the time, investigators couldn't verify his story, but as the mystery unfolded, his account became one of the most puzzling details in the case. Months later, after heavy snow began to melt, search teams returned to the mountains. What they found was horrifying. The remains of 3 of the men were discovered scattered along the route leading away from the abandoned vehicle. They had apparently attempted to walk through deep snow and freezing temperatures. Exposure and exhaustion eventually claimed their lives. But the most disturbing discovery was still ahead. Searchers located a remote Forest Service trailer hidden deep in the mountains. Inside, they found Ted Weir. Ted's body revealed something investigators could barely believe. Evidence suggested he had survived for weeks after entering the trailer. Some experts estimated he may have lived for as long as 2 or even 3 months. The trailer contained food supplies. There were blankets. There were matches and materials that could have helped him survive longer. Yet many of these resources remained untouched. Investigators were left with more questions than answers. How had Ted survived so long? Who had helped him reach the trailer? And why weren't the available supplies fully used? An even stranger clue emerged when authorities noticed Ted was wearing shoes that belonged to Gary Mathias. This suggested Gary had survived long enough to reach the trailer and possibly assist Ted. But Gary himself was nowhere to be found. Unlike the other 4 men, Gary Mathias simply vanished. Search teams scoured the mountains for years. No body was ever recovered. No confirmed sightings were ever verified. To this day, Gary remains officially missing. As news of the case spread, theories emerged. Some investigators believe the group simply became lost after taking a wrong turn. Faced with freezing temperatures and unfamiliar terrain, they may have panicked and abandoned the vehicle. Others focused on Gary Mathias. Gary had a history of schizophrenia, although family members said he had been stable and taking his medication. Some theorized he became disoriented and accidentally led the group into the mountains. Still others suspected foul play. Why would 5 men suddenly drive so far off course? Why abandon a perfectly functional car? Why leave survival supplies untouched? And what happened to Gary Mathias? No theory has ever answered every question.
Nearly 50 years later, the Yuba County Five mystery remains unsolved. The case is often compared to the famous Dyatlov Pass incident because of its bizarre circumstances and unanswered questions. 5 friends left a basketball game expecting to return home. Only 4 were ever found. And somewhere in the mountains of California, the fate of the 5th man may still be waiting to be discovered. The Yuba County Five didn't simply disappear. They left behind a mystery that continues to haunt investigators, families, and true crime enthusiasts to this day. What do you think happened to the Yuba County Five? Was it a tragic accident, a series of unfortunate decisions, or something much darker? Let me know in the comments below.